The time is now. On everything. Took my heart away from money. I ain't interested in fame. And I pray that never change. Ambition is priceless. It's something that's in your veins. And I put that on my name.
Kelly Cole.
Love me for my ambition. Easy to dream a dream, though it's harder to live it. They gon' love me for my ambition. Easy to dream a dream, though it's harder to live it. Look, they gon' love me for my ambition.
With my whole family every year, we create vision boards. So about 2 years ago, we created this vision board of what we wanted my son's career to be. We put Toby Mac on the vision board. We put Capitol Records Studio on the vision board. We put a big old tour bus on the vision board. Guess what? 2 years later, he signed to Toby Mac. He has his own personal key to the Capitol Studios that was on our vision board, and he's on the 30-city tour on that tour bus right now. Come on, give God a hand for that. Come on, somebody. We should collect the offering right there. Let's go. But yeah, I grew up, like I said, if it's possible for me coming from where I come from Cabrini Green, which is one of the worst housing projects that's ever lived. But I've grown up, I always tell people, I was a born entrepreneur. Anybody feel like they were born an entrepreneur, like born with this burning desire to work for yourself and to create your own destiny? I started my first business at the age of 6 in front of my building in Chicago. I started a candy store with my sister. So from then on, I've had 2 clothing stores, I've had 2 restaurants, I was a barber for 10 years, I was trying anything and everything. I was videoing weddings, I was DJing weddings, I was doing family reunions, taking pictures, all trying to find what it was, my purpose, what I was put on earth to do. Being a young man full of hormones, by the age of 21, I had 3 kids, a wife, and a baby mama. And somebody say child support. And which led to me ultimately, having to get a job. I ended up working 2 jobs, like he said. I used to work at Wal-Mart during the day and Blockbuster at night. Most of the time, 16, 17-hour days. As a young man, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. I did that for years. Just praying, God, show me what it is I'm supposed to do. All while trying to run my businesses on the side. I would work those 2 jobs. While I would be at work, I would have my wife burning CDs. Anybody used to sell bootleg CDs or ever bought a bootleg CD? I'm telling you.
Dan the CD man.
Dan the CD man. So I would say, babe, I would go to Sam's Club, buy the pack of CDs. All right, babe, while I'm at work, I need you to burn these CDs. When I get off, I'm going to the carnival, and I'm not coming back till I sell every one of these CDs, and I did it every night. Because I had a wife, I had 3 kids, a baby mama, and somebody say child support. But I was a hustler. I did whatever I had to do to put food on the table. My turning point didn't come till one day, me and my family, it was a Sunday, me and my family went to Books A Million. And we were walking past the magazine section. I saw a magazine called Millionaire Blueprints. And on the cover was a guy in a drop-top Mercedes-Benz, and the caption read, "Web-made millionaire." All right, let's check it out. So am I the only one that reads the magazines and don't buy them? Am I by myself? So I picked it up, I'm reading, I'm like, oh, I'm buying this one. It talked about how he built these websites that made him money while he was actually sleeping. It was like the heavens opened up. I heard God say, ah, this is what you were put on earth to do. Make money while you sleep. So I bought the magazine, and immediately, like I said, after reading his story, I felt like that's what I was put on earth to do, to start an internet business. And I immediately wanted to quit my 2 jobs, and I didn't. I punked out for another year. And if you've ever worked retail, that was like doing 20 years in prison. That's the equivalent. So one Friday night I come home, I'm like, babe, I had it. I'm done, I'm quitting. She was like, shut up. You ain't quitting. Come in here, babe. Kiss me on the head. Let's watch a movie. So we watched a movie called Pursuit of Happiness. Anybody ever seen that movie? Clap if you've seen Pursuit of Happiness. So we watched Pursuit of Happiness. By the end of it, I'm crying, I'm snotting, I'm like, God, I'm supposed to be your child. If I end up like Chris Gardner sleeping in the bathroom with my family, tomorrow I'm quitting these 2 jobs. That was Monday, that was Friday. I said, Monday when I go in, I'm quitting these 2 jobs. How many of y'all know I quit Blockbuster right then? I was like, y'all got to go, I'm done. I go to work at Wal-Mart on Monday, and I'm walking in, they call me to the office. I got scared. I was like, oh, I came to quit. They finna fire me. Like, you know, you start thinking about all the stuff that could have went wrong over the weekend. Like, man, did they see me still in them boxes? So anyway, so I go in. They say, hey, we want to send you to Arkansas for a week to a shareholders meeting. I was like, all right, perfect. This will give me time to put my plan together, and I'm gonna be out of here when I get back. I go to Arkansas. I walk into the Arkansas Razorback Stadium. And Chris Gardner is walking towards me, the guy Will Smith played in Pursuit of Happiness. How many of y'all know how I felt? I threw my hands up in that big old stadium. Oh, thank you, God. Thank you. It's time. So I was like, yeah, you confirm it. When I get back, I'm quitting. I'm walking in to put in my 2 weeks notice. God tells me, you can't leave till July 15th. That's what God spoke in my spirit. He said, you can't leave till July 15th. That meant I had to stay there another month or so, which is another 40 years of my life. So I go home, upset again. I tell, my wife was like, did you put in your 2 weeks notice? I was like, no. She's like, why? I said, God said I can't leave till July 15th. She said, what? I said, God said I can't leave till July 15th. You know I was ready to go. You know, fellas, why they beat us down like that? We already feel bad. And we gotta tell, okay, back to the story. So, I say July 15th, I don't know. He just said July 15th. So I'm sitting on the couch, mad. We turn on TBN. We watching TBN. Bishop Bloomer's preaching. He says, look, whatever you believe in God for, that thing is done. He said, I don't care what it is. The angels of the Lord are doing that thing right now in your living room. And he looked right in the camera. He said, I don't care if it's July 15th, that thing is done. I jumped up, started praising God so hard, I fell out in my living room. Nobody laid hands on me. Nobody put no oil on my head. It was like God reached inside me and confirmed that July 15th was my day to quit my job. So July 15th, 2008. I quit my job and started my business. If that don't get an applause, man, what I gotta do to turn it? So, I'm gonna share this story because I shared this with my guy Robert over there. Anybody know the story of when Jesus came walking to Peter on the water? Yeah. All right, I shared this with Robert over there. Do y'all remember what Peter said to Jesus? He said, if it's you, bid me to come. So they've been, hey Jesus, if it's you, say I can come out on the water. That's exactly what I did. I was Peter. I said, Jesus, if it's you, let me come out. Let me quit my job. Jesus said, come. Now think about it this way. Had Peter sat back down in the boat, he would have denied that it was Jesus. Are y'all with me? So I had to get out the boat. Here's the second part to that. Jesus didn't say, wait, let me calm the storm, then you can come. He said, no, come. Y'all with me? Okay, stay with me. When I quit my job, I had one product on the internet and it was selling for $25 and I was selling one a week. How am I going to support a wife, 3 kids, a baby mama, and somebody say child support? $25 a week. So, you know, the child support people want to lock me up, the rent man want to evict us, my wife want to leave, and they suspended my license. No internet, we barely eating. All Jesus said was come. All hell was breaking loose, and all I had was the word come. I trusted God. I kept working, stayed faithful. Because I had no license, I would walk to the library, which was 5 miles, use their internet on my laptop, and I would do my work. I did that for a year straight until my breakthrough came. I got 2 free tickets to an internet marketers conference in Atlanta. I had no money, no gas. Remember I told you we were barely eating. My wife said, look, if you don't make some money, I'm leaving. I had to agree to let her get food stamps so she wouldn't leave me. I was at rock bottom. I had nothing. I was barely eating. I said, listen, I don't care what it takes. I'm going to this conference. I know that this conference is going to be my turning point. So I drive to Atlanta. I guess my dad felt bad for me. He said, son, you're starving. He gave me $100. My plan was to go and sleep in my car. That's how bad I wanted to be successful. And that's how bad I knew God had gave me this promise, and he told me to come. I go to Atlanta, and I said, hey, I'm going to do the swipe and pray. Anybody ever did the swipe and pray? That's when you take all the cards out in your wallet, and you say, young lady, we're going to swipe every one of these until one works. And while she's swiping, you're praying. So I did that to get a room, and guess what? On the 3rd one, bingo, thank you, Lord, we got a room. In which I never paid that bill. Bingo, the 3rd one worked. I got a room, went to the conference. I sat in a chair just like that for literally 3 days straight. Did not move, didn't eat, didn't have money to eat. For 3 days. And I soaked up everything that every person said from that stage. I went home, took me 2 weeks. I stayed up 24 hours. I slept on the couch. I didn't even come to bed. I said, honey, I got to do this. Took me 2 weeks. I built a website that sold websites that in 3 months made me $10,000. And that was my turning point. I never looked back since, but it took a year of being faithful. It took a year of holding on to the promise. It took a year of me walking. It took a year of me facing my wife and kids every day hungry, and I couldn't feed them. It took a year of just walking it out. Now, how many of y'all have walked away from your dream? How many of y'all have walked away from what some God's put in your heart? It's time to get back on that path. It's time to do it. The roadblocks are to stop you. The wind and the storm is so you get your eyes off of what he told you to do. Now, think about it this way, too. When Peter took his eyes off Jesus and began to sink, he called out. He said, Jesus, save me. And it says immediately that God reached down and picked him back up. Listen to this. God is so good that I've been like Peter and asked, can I get out of the boat? And I've been boisterous and just jumped out of the boat. But neither time did he let me sink. Come on, y'all. I've been like Peter and asked, can I get out of the boat? And I've just jumped out of the boat. But God is so good, neither time does he let me sink. And if you ever get in a place where you feel embarrassed to ask for help, Peter was standing right in front of Jesus and still had to ask Jesus to save him. Come on, some of y'all missed that. He was standing, he was sinking right in front of Jesus, but Jesus didn't reach down to him. He said, what? Help me. Save me. Ask for help. Seek the resources. Like Dan said, I'm a book publisher. Everybody in here has a story, has a testimony. That's a book. The book will unlock the door to many things that you want to accomplish in your life. I'm here because I wrote a book. It started with a book. The book is the key that unlocks the doors to many of your mysteries, many of the things that you want. Now, like you said, I stand here today. I'm a 2-time #1 best-selling author. My first book was about the TV show Shark Tank. Anybody ever seen Shark Tank? So, being an entrepreneur, I fell in love with the show. Started taking notes about the show. One of my friends said, hey man, that would be a great book. I said, I never thought about that. He says, you should actually interview the sharks. I said, hey, I never thought about that. I emailed everybody, all of the sharks. Only Barbara hit me back. Barbara said, yeah, I would love to give you an interview. I interviewed Barbara, we hit it off. I said, hey, would you help me get Damon? She said, yeah, Damon's my boy. She was like, text me and I'll send it over to Damon. She did that. I interviewed Damon. I took both of those interviews, put them up in the book, along with my notes from the actual show, and it became a #1 bestseller on Amazon. My second book that hit the #1 best-selling author, I was a co-author with my millionaire mentor. His name is Matt Basak. And that all came from that conference that I told you about. That conference that I went to, Matt Basak was the guy who hosted the conference. He had a book, he did a book last year. He said, Kelly, I want you to be a part of my book as one of my success stories. And guess what? It hit #1 on the bestsellers list. Bringing it full circle. Remember the guy in the drop top Mercedes-Benz on the cover of that magazine? Conversations with Sharks. Guess who writes me a review? The guy on the drop top Mercedes. His name is Yannick Silver, which is one of my great friends now. I'm gonna leave you with this quote. You don't have to get it right. You just gotta get it going. Once you get it going, you can always improve upon it. But if you never get it going, you can never improve upon it. That Conversations with Shark book had so many mistakes in it. But this is what I wrote at the end of it. While other authors are waiting for their book to be perfect, you're reading mine. Thank y'all for having me. It's been a pleasure. Please come see me at my table. It's a long ride to Virginia with all those books I got, so please come and get one. Thank you so much, Dan. Thank you, Fatherhood. I pray I've been a blessing to you all.
It was definitely inspiring to me. There are a couple of dreams that I've been kind of keeping inside, kind of hoarding inside, and just his inspirational message and his vision and his testimony has definitely given me what I'm going to need to get that started.
My son is everything. I love my son to death, and it just gave me more energy to keep doing what I need to do as a man and as a father, as a young black man, as a young black father, to be a father. I never had a father growing up, and that's just more motivation to just keep doing what I'm doing.
His speech motivated me to understand that you have all the time in the world to do what you want to do, but you need to do what you want to do while you still have the time. You're never promised tomorrow, so you might as well do it while you're here today.
He just showed that, if you have faith and you believe in God, don't question what you're doing. You just step out and let God do the rest.
Daniel Petrie here with the Fatherhood Encouragement Project at the 2nd Annual Fatherhood Encouragement Project Award Banquet, and just so honored and excited to have Kelly Cole here as our keynote speaker. Did a fantastic job, kept the audience attention, made them laugh, and hit home. So just encouraging people to step out of the boat and chase their dreams. So definitely check him out. Kelly was awesome, and we're just so excited to have him.